Why life continues and why life keeps bringing you the same lessons. Let's get curious about this and see what is happening. Some cards already came out and I didn't want to put them away, but this is not what we're going to start with today. Right now, I want us to first ask ourselves that question. I want you to become aware of a pattern, right? Of some lesson that keeps coming in that you're like, why do I continue having this relationship be this way? It starts off, for what I could say, sounds good, and then at some point it fizzles out, right? There's no substance to it, and I'm again left alone, right? And then it can even lead to like, there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not pretty. Someone did a hex or a curse on me, right? All of these thoughts kind of fall into that place, right? And those are normal, natural things to happen, okay? This is not to shame you. This is a natural thing that occurs. When we then see those kind of thoughts flutter in, I want you to go in and start asking yourself, what do I need to be aware of now? Change up what is being given, what you're seeing, because you're seeing things through a lens of your wound and you're seeing things from a place of a victim. And you are no victim. Okay? I want you to start embracing that. I am no victim. I want you to say that to yourself. I am no victim, right? This is an experience that is occurring. I don't like it. I want to shift it because I know that I am worthy of what I'm looking for and what I'm craving in life. I'm craving a relationship, a meaningful connection, right? And as such, I'm running into situations where I'm dating people and it works for a little bit, but then it fizzles out, right? Something is going on and is no longer connection. And I'm left again asking myself, what's wrong with me? Right? There's nothing wrong with you. This is where we have to do reframing and have awareness, right? So that reframing and having awareness is now moving ourselves into curiosity. When we move ourselves from the victim mentality to curiosity, we open up another channel in our psyche. And as we open up that other channel in our psyche, other awarenesses start to come in, right? And the right questions come in. And when I say right questions, there's really no right or wrong questions, but I guess we can say more aligned questions, questions of growth, questions that are more moving you in a direction away from being a victim and into a person of introspection, into someone who's trying to take their life into their own hands, right? That's what we're trying to do here. So let's say you find yourself in this, right? Let's do a little story time. Follow me, okay? I'm going to do a story time with you, right? You come, you're like, this is my situation. I keep going in this loop and I don't like it. And I want to be in a relationship. I feel like I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready for this connection. I'm ready to have love making that is forever. I'm ready to feel good and to be supportive and all of those things. Yes, you are. And we have to also handle the things that are stopping you from getting there, right? So this is what we're going to do, right? So let's say in this situation you find yourself there. What we need to start looking at is going into ourselves and asking the right questions and then following the protocols with those questions, right? Going deep. When I'm saying protocols, it's like going deep, going into the deep blue sea, right? To the depths where there's no more light. That's where you need to go, the deep emotional place of your sacred heart. That is where the answers are going to be more helpful for you, and it's going to move you forward, right? So let's say you find yourself there and you're like, oh, I think a hex or I think of this. I want you to drop that for a second and I want you to move into acceptance. Okay, Why was it that that relationship didn't work? Why was it that my last 3 relationships didn't work? What was the pattern in them? Maybe there was some people pleasing from your end, or maybe there was a person who was emotionally unavailable, constantly telling you, oh, I have this to do, I'm busy, I can only see you at night, or I can only see you twice a month. That's an emotionally unavailable person. Why are you trying to go after that person? That's what you need to see. Oh, I'm actually going after people who are not emotionally available. Because someone who is saying, oh, I have to work and I am only able to see them twice a month, even if they're a good person and they have the well intention, if they are not available, they are not available. Why am I continuing to go in that direction? Right? That's when we see, oh, wow, I'm going after unavailable people, or I'm going towards people who make me people please, that I'm overly giving of myself, and there's nothing that they're giving to me, right? Or I'm connecting with someone who wants to take up all my time, all my energy, and I don't have time and energy to do my own projects. And now I am now in a codependent connection with them. And when they disappear, I feel completely lost. Now I don't even know who I am anymore without this person in my life, right? We have different scenarios, but playing out the same emotional pain. At the end of the day, you're left alone and feeling isolated, right? And you're feeling like it's something that's your fault. I'm not here. This is not about fault. This is about seeing what's in front of you, opening your eyes, awareness, right? Then after we go into that, we go in that awareness and that acceptance, right? They kind of go hand in hand, right? So it's like, oh, I see. Okay, I'm going after unavailable people. So, as I'm now going into the dating pool, moving forward, if someone is telling me they could only see me twice a month, that is not someone I'm going to pursue. That's not someone that I'm going to let actually pursue me, right? I'm not going to leave an open door for that, because that is an empty gap of energy that is sucking me dry, right? This is where then we step from acceptance into that level of responsibility and choice, right? Where it's like, okay, wait. If I am moving and I'm seeing that this person's unavailable, then I'm opening up to people who are, right? And that's where you start to have fun, right? Getting to know each other instead of chasing. Or if it's the other scenario where you're overly giving and you're giving so much of yourself, so much of your time, and you lose part of your own independent identity. And then when they're not there, you feel completely lost. That is not healthy either, right? That creates codependent bonds, and that can leave you in relationships that can be very narcissistic, especially if you're very empathic, right? And that's something that I talked about in another video, and I'll talk more about it. You don't want to be an empath as a way of being. You want to have that as a trait. I am empathetic, but I am not an empath, because an empath is an individual who only sees from the other person's perspective, right? They're only seeing the other person's and they're not including themselves. And this is where we find ourselves getting really lost. And I have a lot of personal experience in that, actually, and I was very wounded. And it is one of the reasons, not the full reason, but it is one of the reasons why I took a long, long break from Miracles Within Us. And now we are in the new series of Miracles Within Us with Soy la Medicina, right? I am the medicine. And I'll share more around my story as time goes on. And if you're interested in that, let me know so that I can do that, because I'm not sure if people are interested in the story or not, right? So that's why I haven't really like focused on it. I've been focused on this, the what I gathered from it, my lessons in it, not my personal story to share, but the lesson, which is the remembrance, remembering who you are. And that's where all of this plays into this, right? As we're moving in from the acceptance into responsibility, we see, okay, if I'm responsible for myself, and as such, I'm not responsible how other people treat me. I'm not responsible for something negative, like something comes towards me and injures me, that is not my responsibility, right? This is not, oh, you're responsible because someone, let's say a drunk driver, hit you while you were driving or walking the street. That isn't you responsible for that, right? I want you to recognize that. I want you to say there was some energetic alignment that happened, that is why you met, but that's totally different than a responsibility and then of your own life as far as like moving in these directions, especially around relationships, right? Because relationships are things we choose. They're not necessarily like arranged. And yes, there are arranged marriages, but we're not in that scenario right now. We're not. This is you choosing and them choosing you. And so this is where you had to put up your like antennas and see, what am I worthy of, right? Because as you get clear in your responsibility, you are responsible for yourself, which then means, what is it that I am truly wanting? I want a person who's respectful. I want someone who doesn't give me excuses and gives me the runaround, right? And so in when you're looking at those things that you're wanting, you look at it from a place of responsibility in the way, and I'm going to frame this for you, is, okay, is that person showing me that? Yes or no? Is that person showing me that they're respectful? Are they respectful to others? Are they just, right? How are they with other, let's say if you're dating a male, how is that male with other females if you're feminine, right? How, it doesn't even matter, just how are they with other people? Are they only kind to me? That's a red flag, because then that means that they're putting on a facade, and that at any moment that they feel that I'm not worthy, they will dismiss me and treat me the way that they're treating those other people. These are things to look at, right? These are not your, like, a lot of times we find ourselves in abusive relationships, but it's like we've always seen that that person disrespected their mother, their sister, their cousins, and the way that they spoke about their exes. There was never this place of like ownership. Well, yeah, it didn't work out because we both had different personalities, and because of that we clashed, and she became crazy, and I became like cold and heartless in their eyes, right? That's an honest introspective person who saw themselves integrated and saw how each other's energies interacted. But if it's just someone like, oh yeah, yeah, she was just a crazy girl, and she went wild, why? Because we don't just act a certain way for nothing. Yes, people have things, but things are perpetuated, right? Things are in through an experience, through something, right? This is why we got to take our time and look and ask the right questions. And that's where the responsibility is. When you're more clear around yourself, what you're wanting, what you want to align to, it makes it easier to move into the next step, which is choices, right? The choices should be the fun place. This is where you get to say yes and no, right? And in dating, you should be doing a lot of no's, right? Until you're like with somebody who actually invites the yes in you, right? And what I mean by that is that they're really like, you really feel, and not just like feeling from a place of like, ooh, I just, something about this person and you can't name it. That's a trauma wound being activated. You want to be able to name what it is. When I'm around this person, I feel lit up because they ask me questions that I have not been asked before, and these questions really get me into a place of clarity. And that energy, that sort of person is someone I want to be more around. So yeah, I'll give them another date, right? I'll give them another experience, right? With me. That's a person I want more experience with. That's where the juiciness comes with the choices, right? And then when we go into that space, we go into integration. But before we can move into dating and doing all that stuff, you first have to go through this first with yourself, right? So first, you're single right now, right? you're single, you want a relationship, I want you to go through all these steps with yourself. And in the responsibility, I want you to really come get clear around what is it that I'm looking for. And then in your choices, you then know what's a yes and what's a no. And then from the choice, you move into integration, which is an identity shift. There's an identity shift that happens in integration, right? You may even notice it here with me, right? Those of you who have been with me since 2013 and have witnessed me go through all of these transitions, we have grown together. Like, we don't know each other, but we know each other. We have gray hairs now. Well, I don't have gray hairs yet, but you get the concept, right? Like, we have matured in these last 10 years. Well, how many years is that? 12, 13 years, right? Things have happened. Children have been born, relationships have come and go, right? Things have happened. And what you will see is that in the reflecting of looking at like past videos and then now looking at videos of now of me, you'll see the integration of the process of the learning of the lessons. And so that's what I want you to see for yourself. Like, you're an ever evolving individual, right? You're not, you're born perfect, but you're not born perfect, right? It's like you're born perfect because you are the perfection. But the life here is to go through lessons and learn and fall and get up, fall and get up, fall and get up. And certain falls hurt more than others, right? Like when you're first learning to walk, you walk, boom, you fall on your bum, you laugh and you're fine. But when you get bigger and you're riding a bike, and you fall off that bike, now you got some scrapes. You may have broken a bone, right? It gets a little bit more costly because we need to learn more, right? As we grow. So I want you to see that. I want you to go through the process with yourself and recognize, as the new identity, as I am this person who knows of myself, I'm more clear around that, hey, I have people pleasing tendencies. So because I know that I have that, I'm going to be extra cautionate around if that's coming up with people. Am I overly extending myself when I shouldn't, especially in the beginning, right? Am I trying to solve their problems? Am I trying to overly help this person? Am I trying to fix them in some way, right? Because that plays into people pleasing too. It's like you feel like you can fix them, right? There's also like this wound around that comes up for a lot of us, which is like, oh, I know that only if I can help them with this, they'll they'll accept love, and now they'll see that they're worthy of love. You're not here to do that. You're not here in relationship to do that for someone, right? You're here to do that for yourself. This is where you got to turn it back into yourself. That's why you got to do it first with yourself. Go through all of the steps. Date yourself for a little bit. What is it that I like about myself? What are the traits that I want to enhance about me in a relationship? What part of me do I want to shine, right? In relationship, right? That is what we got to start looking at, not just like the googly feelings and the bubble bubble whatever, right? I don't know what the bubble bubble is, but you get my drift, right? And I feel this is really important for us to take in because I've talked to a lot of people around with this recently, right? This is really something that's come up. And also for myself, I am in that phase in my life where I am also opening up to dating after so long and feeling all of these different emotions. And I have to go through this too. And the more clarity you get around yourself, the more you're able to distinguish between who's for you and who isn't. And your radar of deception starts to get better, right? Where you get to see through if someone's trying to be deceitful, someone's trying to pull a fast one on you, they're a sweet talker. That's why we take our time, right? That's why we ask the deep questions and see if the answers match the behavior, right? You got to see it all together, and also paying attention to the spirit behind things, right? Where is that person's spirit, right? How do they talk about themselves is a really good indicator around where their spirit is. And what I mean by that is like, and I've been in this, where it's like I'm like really good at giving you hope and inspiration and making you see clearly like what you're worthy of and all of these things. And then when it comes to myself, it would be different, right? Like I'm an exclusion to the rule. No, you're not an exclusion to the rule. You are the rule. You are the setter here, right? So this is where you got to put yourself into play. Now, some cards came up and I did not want to put them away because as I was, fixing this up, they came out and I was like, you know something, this is the reading. This is the weekend reading. And in addition to the weekend reading, I want to piggyback off what has been coming through, because it's good to just have the readings, but I'm more than that. And that's something that you're going to start to see here with Soy La Medicina, is that if you're just coming here to get a quick fix, I am not your girl. Just saying, I'm not. I will not give you the quick fix, because quick fixes get us quick exits, right? And then we love right back asking and questioning why am I alone? And I'm not here for that, right? I've been there, done that, and I'm still learning. And I'm recognizing that it's not just about doing the next reading for the next day like nothing is happening. There's a storyline that plays in. And I want to be respectful to the energy and the story that is playing. So you're going to start seeing this as we're going along. And I hope you enjoy it, because I really do enjoy looking at it, right? Because it's not just showing up, doing a reading, turning off the camera, and that's it. No, I'm like, oh wow, there was lessons in that. How do I break that down tomorrow? Because there's some pieces that I missed out, right? And that's the thing, is like you gotta, that's a part of our message today, is to go into the thing, pull it out, then expand it. Boom, take it out, expand it, right? Boom, take it out, expand it. It's like love making, right? If you're just going in, eh, right? But if you go in, take your time and expand it, you have better explosions, right? And I know those of you who know what I'm talking about. So I want to share something here with what's coming up. I'm going to tell you the cards. We have the Seven of Wands in reverse. We have the Justice in reverse. And we have the Hanged One in reverse. And I'm going to put this in reverse because when it's in the reverse, do you see it's actually standing right? So this is what it would actually look like. This is what it looks like on my table, right? Starting from here, right? The Seven of Wands in reverse is the first card that came up, right? That's important because always the first card is like what is first showing up. It's like the thing that's present in our awareness. It's the thing that's in front of us. And the Seven of Wands is about putting down, in the reverse, it's about putting down the fight within the spirit. It's like you finally recognize, I'm not going to fight with what is anymore. I'm in acceptance. So I feel like in the process of where you are in relationship, you have moved from the awareness page space, to get page space, you've moved from the space of awareness where it's like all those questionings of like, why am I here, why is this happening, da 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 da, to now you're moving into acceptance where it's like, oh, I see why this has happened, there's a lesson here, I see what I've been ignoring, I see I see all the red flags I didn't know then. Now that I know, I can do better, right? Like that's where you're kind of at right now. So this is where you are, swinging the pendulum, right? Swinging that balance, right? And Justice in reverse, right? That's Libra. That's Libra energy. And I believe this is number 11. Okay. So that's number 11 in the major arcana. And then the hanged one is number 12. Oh, wow. I didn't recognize it was like 11, 12, right? So there's something about the stages, right? Like you see like 11, 12, 1, 2, right? Awareness is 1, acceptance is 2, right? So there's this thing of here like with the justice in reverse, I would actually like that to be more upright, but I feel like it's because you're still like you go back and forth between like I'm tired of being alone, but I also see that I kept accepting bullshit behavior. But I am tired of being alone. Right? Like you kind of like going back and forth between that space. And that is very normal, very natural. And I want to get you out of it so that we can move on, so we can actually start dating and doing things that we want to do, right? So that's where I feel you kind of are at right now, like energetically. And I'm using dating because that's something that came up a lot with talking to people, with all these with the awareness calls that I've been doing. That's been a theme, so I just kind of I've been picking up on that, and so as such I want to put it in that way. But this could also be in work, right? So like how would this be in like business and work and like career and purpose? Is like I know I want more and I see that I've accepted this offer, but it's not really what I want, but I want more, but I have this offer, right? Like, and so you kind of go back and forth. And so now what we want to do is move into the next thing, which is like really honing that in. There's not, don't rush the process. You can't rush through them. You can't be like, yeah, I'm going to get to integration tomorrow. You're lying to yourself, right? And then you're going to find yourself right back to number one again. And then you're going to be even more frustrated because you're going to be like, it didn't work. It didn't work because you didn't let it naturally unfold. And that's the thing here with the justice in reverse. Justice knows when to unfold it, right? You're kind of trying to rush the process. And there's, if you rush the process, you're going to miss out on a lesson. And then you're going to go through that lesson all over again. Right. And we're trying to not go through those real painful lessons. Let's go to new lessons, right? Like I can't promise you you're going to get the one right after this, but you'll get a better lesson. You'll get another awareness, right? And you'll be able to move through it faster because you've already done it. Because once you kind of go through it, you kind of can process it a little bit faster. But the first time you kind of have to really go through the ups and downs in it, right? I'm not saying the first time in a relationship, I'm saying the first time that you're letting yourself actually go through these experiences and ask the questions that are going to provide transformation for you. I'm going to actually bring these a little down so you can see them better on the table. All right. So then we move into the hanged one, and it's in the reverse. Whoops. It fell right on top of little Rocky. Hold on. I got to move the table. Hi, little boo. You know what's so cute? Every time I'm doing readings now, he like kind of like stays around me, right? Like the energy. He's bringing in his beautiful, like loving puppy curiosity energy. So I want you to know that even though you don't see him, he's giving you that energy here. And let's accept it. Let's take it in. Let's learn, right? Let's be curious around it, right? So with the hanged one, right? It's in the reverse. You're finally getting off of the train, or like here's like one foot is hanging, right? Like you see it's one foot hanging. You're finally untying that and leading through the illumination. The illumination, you see her head is illuminated, right? And so once you start going into that, like that second step of acceptance, right? You kind of starting to see the light of day. You're like, okay, now I see how this is actually not horrible. I could see that accepting doesn't have to be so painful. It's actually leading me in a direction where now I'm starting to see a little bit more brighter, right? Where in the awareness is like, it's great that you're aware, but there's still pain in awareness. Like awareness doesn't get it off of you. It just tells you it's there, right? It's like that concept, like in what is it? Ignorance is bliss. It's like until you know that if something is up, you kind of just keep going. But now you've gone through it so many times that you can't ignore the pain anymore. And so, in the awareness, what awakens the awareness a lot of the times is deep, deep pain, deep, deep sorrow, deep pain, deep frustration, deep anger, right? Right? That part, like, I can't do this anymore, right? Like, that's what opens awareness. So don't be upset at yourself for that stage. It is meant to feel that way. A lot of times in the spiritual world, you're like, oh, awareness, and everyone's happy and enjoying. And I'm like, awareness is the place where you kind of find yourself frustrated, right? And for me and my human design, frustration is my non-self, which means it's the worst version of me possible. It's better to have me angry than to be frustrated, because frustrated is going to cut you, right? And you're gonna feel so out, right? And if you know your human design, you will know what is your non-self, right? So like if you're a projector, your non-self is gonna be bitterness. So as soon as you start feeling yourself being bitter, you are your not self, and every decision you make from there is not going to work in your favor, because when you operate from your non-self, things do not work out for you. And believe me, I know I've tried to do things when I'm frustrated and everything falls apart. Okay? If you're a manifester, your non self is going to be anger, right? You don't want to be around them when they are not themselves. They're so mean. They're so mean. Oh, it's hot, right? Um, and there's other types. I'm not gonna go through all of them here, but those, like, I just wanted to share a little bit of that. Like, if you can put together the different parts of you and start to integrate the different awarenesses, like let's say you know a lot about astrology and you know where your chart is and your houses and things like that, that is to your benefit, right? All of those things are to your benefit. Like I'm a human design reader, and I use that as I'm connecting in my readings as well, because it gives me ways to also help that person through whatever scenario they're going through, right? So with this is like learning yourself, right? And acceptance, you're moving into that, right? So this is where we're kind of like most of us are at. And it's okay. Let's move from acceptance to responsibility. And I love this next card. We have the Lovers, number 6, right? And I love that this came out. That was the last card that came out, and I'll show you what came under the deck. But the Lovers is about choice, right? What is choice? And that is one of the steps. That's the fourth step that I kind of defined in this. And there's more. It doesn't have to be in this specific order. Again, like it's a wave. It's not linear. So we got to get out of linear thinking in these things, because we may get a new awareness of something and then have to come back and then shift how we show up in responsibility, right? And that might happen in the choice. Oh, I made a choice and now I saw this new awareness, and now I have to shift responsibility because now I know I want to work in this way, right? So that's what this is talking about. I'm gonna have some of my cacao. Hold on. The Lovers, after everything, we end with the choice. So this is where I'm feeling like if you could get yourself into choice, it will help you see that that's where you have autonomy. And the choice place is where you start to recognize your own autonomy. Wait, I get to choose who I say yes and no to. I get to choose whether I want to continue doing this job or not. I make that choice. I have options. I am not stuck like I was thinking in the beginning. I'm stuck in here. I don't know where to go, right? Like that's actually a lie I've been telling myself because I haven't been able to see that I'm more than that. And that's when we move into integration. And I love the integration space, and that's the space I get most like strung on because that's where we shift identity. And for anyone, it is hard to make change. It is so hard to make change, right? Like in every biblical kind of experience, the place that they're most emphasized is the moment of change, the moment of like what they say repentance is. What to repent, right? Like I was born Catholic, so I have a lot of that like knowledge around that, even though I'm not practicing that. Oh my boy. Okay, I thought he was gonna do good boy on the wee wee pad. Oh, good boy. He's doing good boy. Yay, he made a good choice. I'm so happy about that because I'm potty training him. Good boy, baby. And that's kind of how you have to be about yourself. It's like I made a good choice. Yay! I did the right thing. I finally did pee pee in the wee wee pad. Well, he actually did poop. He did pee pee in the wee wee pad. Yay, baby! Come here. Come. Come, puppy. You're a good boy. Come. Come. Give us your beautifulness. Look at this. Look at this cute face. It's a good boy. Right? Just like I'm celebrating him, you see, like we got to do that with ourselves. We can't forget that that's not just for the kids, it's for the child in ourselves as well. Right? Like we got to embrace those moments so that they become more set in stone, right? So the new identity and the integration, a lot of people get stuck and then we fall right back. Oh, this isn't working. You know, I'm saying no to a lot of people, and now I just feel like I'm just saying no. People are not liking me now because the way I used to get people to like me was through people pleasing, overextending, being the good girl, being the one who is always understanding. You do not want that relationship. You have to remember, nope, 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 I don't want that relationship because those relationships always still leave me alone, even though maybe temporarily I am feeling somewhat satisfied, but overall I'm still feeling empty and all my honey is getting sucked dry by this fly, right? And I'm really trying to find the bee. And the thing is, the bees come to the flower, they come to the honey. You can't chase the bee, right? It's like butterflies as well, right? You can't chase butterflies. You have to make a butterfly garden so that they can come. And that's what integration is you becoming that, the butterfly, you becoming the honey, right? Whatever analogy works best for you, use it, right? Because that's what you're going to need to remember to move forward. See, the thing here, underneath everything, we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. And the thing with that is underneath everything, right? Underneath the deck, to me, is like the unseen, is the unseen part of ourselves that is making the decisions. And so with the Two of Pentacles in reverse, is telling me you're not allowing yourself to see that you actually have a choice. You actually do believe you're trapped. And you're not trapped. You're only trapped if someone is holding you down hostage. And you're not being held down hostage if you're listening to this video. I know that sounds extreme, but I want you to see that. Like, I want you to hear that, right? And I'm not saying that there aren't people who are experiencing that. Things are wild. And I'm talking to you. And right now, you're not tied down to anything, right? You may have responsibilities like children and a rent and bills and a car note. Those are fine. But again, those are your choices, right? You get to choose how to navigate your money to operate, to make sure you pay for things, right? And sometimes there is hard choices we have to make, but that is what is needed to see. I'm making this decision for myself, and I am integrating the self of me to be here right now, right? So overall, where I feel that is needed for us as we move into this weekend and into next week, right? Saturday, Sunday, I want you to really sit with this energy with like, what are the things that I'm repeating that I don't like, right? That are causing me pain, that are causing me suffering, right? I have awareness of it now, but I need to move into acceptance, right? Because remember, that's where you're kind of stuck in. And I want you to kind of play it out. Like if it was a perfect scenario, right? Write it out. If it was a perfect scenario, what would it be like? Oh, I would be self-asserting. I would know of myself, and the my partner that I end up choosing finds that really sexy and appealing. They really find it very enhancing when I stand in that. They actually do not like when I diminish myself. They remind me, oh, no, 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 baby. Oh, no, baby. That's not you. You know who you are. You're this. You're driven. You're motivated. You've created all of these things. Keep going. There's so much for you. And I can't wait to continue witnessing you as you continue to flourish, right? And you with them as well. What are their goals? What are their projects, right? You want someone who can meet you, right? You don't want them to overly fixate on you either, because then you ending up in a dynamic where they're constantly waiting on you. And that also doesn't feel good, and that pulls on our energy. Okay? So that's where we want to see. Are they compatible in the way of like they got their own things going on, right? Are they able to have perspective of what I'm going through and what they're going through? Are they able to manage that back and forth, right? I am looking for a mature individual, not a partner who I need to babysit. We're not doing that, right? So I want you to look at your patterns in what you're looking at in life and see what's going on. I'm going to pull out one more card. And if this reading is resonating with you, and my message, two cards came out, is resonating with you, I would love to speak to you. I have my free complimentary calls, the awareness calls happening. You can book it on my site, Soy La Medicina. There's no obligation other than to show up and speak to me for 30 minutes about you, literally, right? And we could walk through certain things and see what's going on for you. Like I really, that is my calling right now, and I feel really excited until the next idea comes in, and I'll be sharing that with you here. All right, so as an additional message, we have the number 7, community, and right behind it, number 25, deceit. Today's the 25th. Be wary. The deceit card came behind here. It looked like that when it came out, right? Almost, well, actually, it looked like this, where I was able to see the word deceit, but I wasn't able to see the image. So that is telling me that to be aware of where you are, right? There may be people who like you see it, like you sense it, like your brain goes, deceit, that's a lie, or they're saying something not true, but you don't see it. I want you to trust it, because the right community will always be transparent with you. And there is a good community here. This is not to say don't trust your community. It's saying that not everyone in the community is who they say they are, right? So that's what I want you to pay attention to. And today's Saturday is the 25th. So especially on Saturday the 25th, I want you to pay attention to that, right? And we have the number 7, 7 days of the week, right? So it might just also be spread out throughout the week. But what I'm feeling here is the deceit is hidden, right? Which is usually what deceit is. No one's like, I'm going to be deceitful to you today. No, it doesn't happen like that, right? You feel it. So this is where it's like when you feel something, pay attention to that guttural feeling, right? And take note of it. Don't be like, oh, you're deceitful, you're evil, stay away from me. No, I just want you to take in the awareness and watch. What are they doing? How are they perceiving? Is this someone that's like, oh, let's do this thing before, this person finds out, because um uh I don't know, once they find out they might not want it, but if we get them in before, then they're already in. If they're willing to do that to others, they're willing to do that to you. And that's all you need to see. And in that, you get to be like, oh, okay. And you can start deraveling or not becoming too connected in mesh with them and working with them. Right? So there's something like that. So just be aware of that in some sort of like community setting. How are people are like seeing and saying things about others, they also are about you. Do not think you're excluded from that. No, you're just the person that they right now are aligning with. But as soon as they make that little shift, that they find you, that you can give them what they want at a moment, they will then do that deceit back to you. Right? And this is what this is talking about, learning people's character, right? And not blaming yourself for someone else, is seeing them and knowing where to place them in your life. That's what discernment does. Okay. So thank you for being here with me. This was a long one, but a goodie. May you enjoy this beautiful weekend. Until the next time, de mi corazón hasta la tuya, from my heart to yours. Ciao.